Auzubillahiminash-shaytanir-rajim. Bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. Assalamualaikum. Ji ayanu pakhair agale ni hao chunushumme washmale ohaya gunzaimas guten morgen hola bonjour privyet kaifa hal hale shuma chatore ahlan wa sahlan marhaba buna mucho gracias swabi abhalli kare aya hoş geldin ayo sayo khuyo morachi batto chi haljot kali mera khairan and a very warm welcome to everybody who's tuned into PTV World and watching World this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm really lucky that I've been joined by my wonderful colleague who happens to be Miss Eesha Rehan. I happen to be Shahzad Khan. We hope and pray that everybody out there is doing wonderfully well and that you're ready to kickstart your week with us. But first things first, hello Eesha, Assalamu alaikum. How are you feeling today?
Walaikum assalam Shahzad. I am feeling absolutely great and thank you for the wonderful introduction.
Thank you so much.
But you know, I'm actually very grateful to be here today. You know, since yesterday, the weather was so hot during the day. However, during the evening, a massive storm rolled in and you know, I was at my Nanu's house and a giant tree fell and it blocked the entrance of the street. So my whole night was trying to figure out how am I going to reach the office and my house.
And finally you made it. So imagine that, you know, ladies and gentlemen, the rain occurred in upper parts as most plain parts of the country will remain under the grip of severe heat wave for the next 2 days. So everybody, please make sure that you keep yourself hydrated. According to Met Office, rain with thunderstorm is likely at isolated places in Gilgit-Baltistan, Upper Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Kashmir, northeastern Punjab, Pothoa region and Islamabad during next 24 hours. Hailstorm and heavy shower is likely at isolated places during this period. Okay, there's only one thing which I would want everybody to keep in their mind. Number one, obviously you really need to keep yourself hydrated. Number two, if you are hungry at night, you know, I think this is something which comes from a lot of experience. If you're hungry at night, late at night, and you go and you open up your refrigerator and you see watermelon over there, please make sure that you do not have it at night because
why should I tell us why?
You know, because the chances of you getting gastroenteritis, so please make sure that you don't go through that. And yeah, just keep your mouth shut, you know, do not eat anything and wait for the morning and have a great breakfast alongside fruits as well. So no fruits late at night, okay?
Yeah,
so for everybody, please make sure that you take notes because for me to kind of make it to work today was quite a lot of struggle because of the fact that I made this mistake. And unfortunately, it wasn't really a good one. But there's something, you know, other than that, which is a good news for everybody who's out there, and that is that Sarbaz scales Mount Kanchenjunga without supplementary oxygen. Renowned Pakistani mountaineer Sarbaz Khan has made a history by summiting 8,500 meters Kanchenjunga without supplementary oxygen, becoming the first Pakistani to complete all 14 of the world's 8,000-meter peaks in true alpine styles. The monumental achievement cements his place among the greatest mountaineers globally. Sarbaz Khan's feat, accomplished through sheer determination and courage, brings immense pride to Pakistan, especially Gilgit-Baltistan region. His journey inspires future generations of climbers.
And you know, at the start, we discussed how weather patterns have been inconsistent in Islamabad. However, one thing that is very consistent in Pakistan is cricket fever and our consistency and passion and love for cricket. So one match will be played today in Pakistan Super League 2025 in Rawalpindi. Defending champion Islamabad United will face Karachi Kings in the last group match. PTV Sports HD will telecast the match live from 7:30 p.m. Pink Day will be celebrated during the match to raise awareness about breast cancer. The home team Islamabad United players will take into the field wearing pink kits, while Karachi Kings and match officials will play the match wearing pink caps.
Oh, I think that's great. But not just that. I think yesterday, ladies and gentlemen, Pakistan Cricket Board dedicated Sunday's Pakistan Super League matches to Pakistan Air Force. A special ceremony was held at Rawalpindi Cricket Stadium to pay tribute to Pakistan Air Force. Air Chief Marshal Zahir Ahmed Babar Sidhu witnesses the match at Rawalpindi Cricket Stadium. The stadium was packed with fans to show solidarity with the armed forces. When Air Chief Marshal Zahir Ahmed Babar Sidhu reached the stadium, the atmosphere echoed with slogans of "Long live Pakistan, long live the Pakistan Air Force." Wow. I think, and not just that, I think I would want to kind of add on over here because how, you know, on the 17th, it was the Pakistan Super League's 10th edition resumption. So I was there, alhamdulillah, I was invited. I was, you know, the zeal and the fervor and the amount of people that, you know, who showed up. It certainly made me feel like as if, you know, obviously we are thanking our political leadership and the military leadership as well. But I think ye jo sahi haqdar hai shukriya ke wo Pakistan ki awam hai. So a big shout out and a big thumbs up to everybody who's out there and aap sabko salam. You know, so I think with that, let's get started because imagine With Pakistan Super League now, we do know which teams have actually qualified for the playoffs. So to speak about it, ladies and gentlemen, we're very lucky that we have been joined by Mr. Syed HAIDER, happens to be a cricket analyst. Hello Syed, Assalamu alaikum. How are you doing today?
Yeah, Alan Salam. Thank you very much. I'm doing well. How are you?
Allah ka shukar, thank you so much. So, sir, let's get started first of all with which teams have already qualified for the playoffs. So, I think Peshawar Zalmi and Multan Sultan are left behind.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the last phase of the PSL, and the playoffs will be started day after tomorrow. So today match between Islamabad United and Karachi Kings. Actually, it's will not make any difference because the Karachi Kings already they have qualified for the playoffs and Islamabad United also. But only the position will be decided today. Who is the number three and number two and number three? Because Lahore Qalandars they have already qualified yesterday. So today match is only some importance like that. Who will be in the playoff? At which number. Otherwise, there is no difference. But today,
Exactly. So
what?
basically, sir, what you're trying to refer to over here is that today's game in between Islamabad United and Karachi Kings is basically a dead rubber. Does not really matter whether, you know, if anyone loses, because both the teams have already qualified, but it's just going to be the number on the points table. So I'm just going to very quickly take the points table for our audiences who are out there as well, so that they could actually see which team is on which number. Quetta Gladiator obviously is at the top of the chart. Then obviously there's Karachi Kings, and then there's Lahore Qalandars, and then there's Islamabad United and Peshawar Zalmi, and then Multan Sultan, which are obviously out of the contest as of now. But now, sir, the most important question over here would be, what difference will it make? Because when we go into the playoffs, because today's game will decide whether Islamabad United is going to jump a number or Karachi Kings is going to jump a number down. Because that will then
Absolutely.
give us the
Exactly.
teams which they will be facing, right?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But the most important thing is that the winning track of the Karachi Kings, because they are on the winning track. They have won last 2, 3 matches. And Islamabad United, they have won all the first 5 matches, but the all last 4 matches they have lost. So this is the difference between Karachi Kings and Islamabad United. And the Islamabad, they have to continue their form. Enjoy a very good cricket between Karachi Kings and Islamabad United performance.
So, which is why, you know, I think this is the right moment to ask you this question. Now, imagine that Islamabad United is qualified, and it's not because that they have won, you know, a few of the previous games. In fact, I think that they are on a 4-match or a 5-match losing streak. Now, if you are to speak about, you know, Shadab's team, you certainly have mentioned how Salman Liaga had to come in because of injuries and niggles, and Mike Haseman has actually, you know, Islamabad United's coach has said that, you know, that I cannot tell you how many people are actually with niggles or under the weather. How do you think Islamabad United needs to play tonight, you know, to kind of gain that confidence going into the playoffs? Because we saw Islamabad United at the top of the table. Now we see Islamabad United at number 4 of the table, even though that they've qualified. But certainly their performances have dipped. Do you think that it was a wrong time for them to peak when they were on the top of the table?
Yeah, absolutely. You are right that Islamabad, you know, the cricket of this year. But after 5 matches, they have gone down very quickly. And
In addition to this, obviously, because you mentioned about, you know, Islamabad United's playing 11, Alex Hales has come to join Islamabad United, and there are other foreign players who've actually joined in. Now, that's wonderful to know. And I'm sure that, you know, that today they would want to kind of pick up on their game. I'm going to take you back to 2 games where it was Peshawar Zalmi. Unfortunately, on the 17th, when the Pakistan Super League's resumption took place, you know, when it was resuming, I was there and I saw how Peshawar Zalmi's top order batters were actually playing where they needed 14 and over, they were playing 7 or 8 or 10 and over. How do you think Babar Azam now really needs to kind of sit down and think about this? Because now it's of no point, they're out of the tournament. But don't you think that Babar Azam and team really needed to play the modern day cricket rather than the way that they played? The reason for them not to play in the playoffs, because Peshawar Zalmi happens to be one of those teams who have played most of the playoffs in Pakistan Super League.
exactly all the playoffs they have. This is the first time in PSL that Shahzad is not playing in playoff. Actually, Babar Azam, he's the master batsman of. I understand he's the best batsman of the Pakistan cricket, but wherever he is there, all the management they rely only on the Babar Azam. They think that Babar is in our team, so we don't need a good another good batters. This is the major fault in Peshawar Zalmi also and the Karachi Kings when the Babar was playing for the Karachi Kings. The Karachi Kings did same mistake, and now Peshawar Zalmi they have done. Saim Ayub, he was the next batter and he hasn't performed in this PSL. Muhammad Haris, he will not be in good form again. So this is the major problem. In the middle order, Peshawar Zalmi, they did not have a good batting side like the Islamabad United or Karachi Kings. They have very good middle order batting. But Peshawar Zalmi, they were relying, most of the time they were relying only on the Babar Azam. Babar Azam is such type of batsman. He cannot give a full fire because he is a good batter, but he's not a very good hitter. Like Fakhar Zaman or Mohammad Naeem of Lahore Qalandars and other we have seen in this PSL. Babar is such type of the batter. He needs some time, then he can give you a bigger score, as he has done 90
Exactly,
plus runs in the
and thank you
first
so much.
match.
Thank you so much for sharing that as well. And I do believe that their playing 11 adjustments could have been different. The numbers could have been different. How they've been sending Tom Kohler, Cadmore, prior to Mas Sadakat, for all of these people who've actually come in and had the ability, I think that they could have changed a few numbers and the results could have been different. But now, sir, coming back to Islamabad United today, and we do know how, when Pakistan Super League started to resume or when the news came out, certainly all the foreign players were supposed to come in. So now it's going to be Alex Hales for Islamabad United, South African better Rassie van der Dusen, and the Australian all-rounder Ben Dwashers. How do you see? So Ben Dwashers, obviously, has been a part of Islamabad United, and then Alex Hales was a part of Islamabad United before. So it's not going to take him long to kind of come and settle in. And Rassie van der Dusen, jagah kahan banti hai sir in sab ki?
Doesn't he's a very good batter and he's playing continuously for the South Africa. But Alex Harris, we haven't seen in a for the England. He has not played.
It's of utmost importance as well. But thank you so much, Syed Haider Saab, for being with us. Lovely to be in conversation with you. Thank you so much for your time. Have a great day and good morning. For everybody who's out there, so Eesha, whenever you're playing any type of sports, you know what? It needs to be fair play, right?
Exactly.
Why am I saying that? Because the World Fair Play Day is being observed today with an aim to promote sports in the spirit of friendship, solidarity, tolerance, inclusion, and non-discrimination. Fair play fosters mutual respect among participants and teaches the value of honoring each other. The day stresses on equality, bridges cultural divides, and empowers young individuals by showcasing how sports can drive social change and build stronger and more cohesive communities.
Wow, that sounds so fascinating, and everyone needs to portray a lot of sportsmanship spirit while playing different sports.
Yeah.
And diving into this, we have a cute little story about a cat from Texas who actually broke the Guinness World Record for the longest jump by a feline.
Wow.
A cat in Texas has entered the Guinness World Book of Records by making the longest jump ever. Oscar, a 7-year-old rescue cat from Dallas, achieved the record by jumping an impressive 8 feet and 5 inches, beating the previous record by over 25 centimeters. The achievement was a result of over 2 years of dedicated training by its owner, Theodore Shells. Oscar is said to be a very smart and likes learning tricks. How adorable, how adorable. And
Which is why I think at this point of time, Eesha, the question needs to be, how far can you jump?
How far can I jump?
Yeah.
I think we need to have a live demonstration one day on set.
And what is that one thing which you will see and then you will jump? I think that's something which is essential. We need something which motivates you, right?
To motivate you. I think it's food or puppies.
Jump. All right, puppies, jump.
And it could also be good clothes. And speaking about good clothes and fashion trends, let's talk about what scientists are doing nowadays. Researchers and biological engineers are working to create a sustainable luxury handbag made by lab-grown leather from fossilized remains of prehistoric creature T-Rex. The professor of tissue engineering at Newcastle University, Chi Cannon, said that they were unlocking the potential to engineer leather from prehistoric species, starting with T-Rex. The first of its kind approach to luxury fashion uses T-Rex DNA is a groundbreaking, high-quality alternative to traditional leather. The initial implementation of T-Rex leather will focus on accessories, with a target to produce a luxury fashion item by the end of the year. Imagine, for me, luxury was a Louis Vuitton bag or a Hermes bag, but now we're actually going to style ourselves using T-Rex or dinosaur leather. How fascinating is that? What do you think about it?
I don't think it's fascinating at all. I think that, you know, if we were kind of able to engineer T-Rex skin, I think it should have been in museums or somewhere where people could go feel it and look for themselves. Why accessories? I think, you know, rather than, you know, carrying handbags and saying it to somebody, oh my God, I'm carrying a bag which is made up of T-Rex skin. I don't want that person around me, honestly. I mean, for people, I think it should actually be needed or used for a purpose of research more and more rather than putting it into accessories, but that's the kind of market that we have over here. But what about you? Are you going to carry a bag which is made up of a dinosaur skin? Because if you will, and if you tell me one day that, hey Shahzad or Sir Shahzad, you know, this is made up of a dinosaur skin, I am never going to believe that.
Shahzad is going to have me blocked, sir. Shahzad is going to have me cancelled if I ever carry a T-Rex bag.
Yeah.
So, okay, you know, be aware, do not carry your T-Rex wallets or bags around, Shahzad.
And why are we even getting into accessories? I mean, it should be out there in museums and schools and classrooms,
you know,
so that people could actually
items,
learn.
they should be preserved and acknowledged. However, you know, now we have someone guiding us about the fashion lens.
I think we should ask her this question.
Exactly, we will definitely ask her this question. She happens to be a content creator, a fashion marketing consultant, and a beautiful mom of 2 kids. She is the face behind What, When, and Where PK. We welcome the ever so stylish UMNA Usmani.
Yeah.
How are you, Yumna?
Hi, everybody. I'm good. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for your time. Wonderful to have you over here. So first of all, we have a question. So we were sharing this news article for our audiences out there that the T-Rex skin handbag is out there. So what are you going to say? Will you ever carry a dinosaur skin handbag, or would you rather want the dinosaur skin to be in schools and museums?
I was hearing your review, and I'm totally with you. Dinosaurs are for the museums. They're not to be carried in your hands. Definitely, it's now about time we talk about sustainable fashion and fashion that does not hurt animals or even, you know, historic things. So yes, I'm with you on that.
Thank you for
That's a good
explaining
start.
that. And Acha, let's dive into your journey and your story. How did you dive into the world of fashion, and tell us about how everything unfolded for you?
Okay, so professionally, I'm a social media marketing consultant. My forte has always been fashion marketing. I've worked with a lot of fashion brands, models, photographers, makeup artists. So that is where my learning comes in. So fashion was always my passion. I liked fashion. I liked dressing up well, and I got the opportunity to learn from all these great people over the years. So What, When, Where is a blog that is my passion project, and I started this just like for fun, and alhamdulillah, it's getting really good reviews, and people are liking my content because I talk about repeating outfits. I talk about wearing the same white shirt with in different ways, and dressing yourself in a different way altogether, wearing the same outfit. So yes, my main focus of this blog has always been the right kind of styling, and styling sustainably. That's my focus and
And
objective.
it's great that finally we actually have someone who's actually talking about sustainability, who's talking about repetition, who's talking about, you know, stopping wastage. Because I do know for a fact that how tons of clothes are wasted every year, and you know they go to waste, complete waste. But Yumna, while we're at it, I think I really need to kind of ask you over here, what sort of backlash do you get from people who are high on consumption? Because now imagine that, you know, for a blog that you actually run, you know, what, when, where, I think a lot of people might actually come and feel like attacking you with the kind of strategies that you're unfolding, because any husband out there listening to you right now would be like, if there's one blogger you need to follow, that needs to be Yumna, right? So how does that work? Is it a lot of backlash, or is it a lot of promotion and support?
No, thank God I have been always been supported whenever I talk about something like that. But there always will be people who want fast fashion, who like fast fashion. I myself might have been consuming a lot of fast fashion, but eventually, there has to be a stop. because it's becoming a bit of a nuisance, I would say, because with brands that that are also mixing the pure material with polyester and stuff. So they are obviously, they have the capacity to manufacture a lot more than pure material. So that is where fast fashion or consumerism came in. But I'm glad that most of my followers really appreciate this. And but having said that, fashion is not bad, or it's not something that okay, we should go with the trends. That there's no harm in that, but keeping in mind that you're keeping your pace a bit slower.
That was very well put together. So, now that we are diving into the beautiful summer of 2025, please enlighten us with what is trending and what should we be following for our summer wardrobes.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, yes, trends are nice, and there's no harm in following the trends. So, the trends that are going around right now internationally, and I always try to customize the international trends into our local trends. So the colors that we are seeing are really they're nice pastel colors. With the heat that is going on in the country right now, it's very hot, and a nice summery soft color always appeals to the eyes. So the colors that are trending right now are also favorable to our weather. Number one on my list is butter yellow. It's really nice, and I must add in here that these colors can be worn by men as well. So
Thank you so much
butter
for being
yellow.
so inclusive. I
We
needed
need to
that.
we
Yeah.
need to see Shahzad in yellow
Yeah.
now.
Yes, so butter yellow is a really nice soft color. Then there's a light pink, powder blue, lavender. Then there's mint green, and there's a new color which is also known as the color of the year, which is mocha mousse, which is the color of 2025. Yes, mocha or browns are always taken as very autumn sort of colors, but they can be worn in during summers in a very soft, like linens and soft lawns. They can be worn.
Exactly. Well, that's wonderful, to kind of know that men can actually wear butter yellow and
Absolutely.
light pink and powder blue and mocha mousse. I think it's great. But Yumna, the question over here now is that with different body types, it's not every color. So we do know that these are the colors for summers, but now people who are actually listening to you right now, tell them what body type will go with what body color and what skin type will go with what, colors to wear.
Okay, yeah, that's very interesting. Yes, when wearing a certain color, you should keep your tone, your skin tone in mind. So for fairer skins, obviously many colors are favorable. For slightly warmer skins, you should always look into your undertone. Like if you have a warmer undertone, you should add a bit of warmer touch to it. For example, a bright yellow versus a mustard yellow. So that is how that will tone down and take that like the color should bring in the brightness on your face. So that is why you should always look into the undertone of your skin. That is very important. Even in fair, there are many kinds of fair. Like some people are pale, some people are towards pinkish. So people that are towards pale should avoid yellows. But their pink would look really nice on them. So this is the color therapy. The color theory is pretty vast to discuss, but these are just the summary. This is just the summary of it.
Exactly. Thank you for wonderfully putting together how each color has different tones and shades that everyone can wear. And you know, I would like to dive into what we were talking before. It was about sustainable fashion and how we need to make sensible fashion choices. So you know, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but 2 months ago when the Farshi Shalwar trend was rolling all around our social media and bombarding our feeds, so you know, everyone was crazed behind this Farshi Shalwar. But now after 2 months, it's like it's disappeared. No one is talking about it.
Because everybody has worn them now.
Everyone's worn them now. So I want to highlight how we need to make sensible choices, and we need to choose clothes that are actually suiting our body type, and think of clothes as a long-term investment rather than a short-term fashion splurge. So what would you suggest that we should keep in our summer wardrobes, a basic staple for me and all the girlies
And
watching?
Yumna, before you answer this question, I have to ask a question from my wonderful colleague over here, and that is that ever since that you've joined our team, you have not repeated a single dress.
Oh, wow.
So what about, why are you even talking about sustainability over here? I mean, you're wearing a new dress every single day. Look at me, I wear the same
so that
suits.
is where absolutely. No, I think your colleague must find out those reels where I repeat one outfit a lot of times. So those are specific reels, but yes, I have to work also, and I work with a number of brands, and they are really, and I make sure that these are brands who are not are aligned with my objective. So please go again to my profile and look through those reels as well.
No, I was trying to ask this question from Eesha because, you know, ever since she has actually joined our morning show, she's not repeated a single dress. And she's actually kind of telling people...
I'm sorry. I thought
So she's actually trying to tell people about sustainable fashion today. I'm like, you know, why are you even talking about sustainable fashion when you have not even repeated one single dress, right?
Okay, let me reveal my secret. My secret is that at first I had my winter wardrobe. So after that was packed, my summer wardrobe came out. And you know, mashallah, my mom, she's very slim and fit. So I can borrow her clothes all the time. Really? So it's like, I mix our wardrobes.
Wow.
Sustainability, you know, sharing.
I think that's exactly what I do. You know, imagine for men, because it's so simple for us, the only thing we need to do for a suit is just change the shirt and a tie. So most of the time, every single day, my father gives me a tie, and the shirts, I have them, so I just keep on changing them with different suits as well. So one is white, one is black, one is powder blue. I think there are 3-4 shirts that you require. And here I am, you know, adding to the sustainability. But please, Yumna, go ahead.
You guys are lucky.
Enlighten us about any good, perfect staple for me and all the girlies out there that we should include in our summer wardrobe.
Not just girlies, but men too. Yeah.
Okay, yes, absolutely. So, yes, coming back to your original question. So, yes, Farshi Shalwar was all over the place. And I even did like a do's and don'ts of how to wear a Farshi Shalwar as well. That went viral and it went crazy and people really enjoyed it. But then, having said that, Farshi Shalwar, if you think it you're through, it's perfect for summers. Like it's nice and airy. Like so, why not have it as a staple in your wardrobe? So I would really suggest having it in your wardrobe. Even the Eid that is coming up, maybe you can style it during that. So yes, fast fashion doesn't mean that you stop right there. You can adopt it, and then you can always customize it according to the trends of that season. So yes, Farshi Shalwar is still going on, and you can still wear it. And another tip, like a basic tip, would be to have some staples in your wardrobe for sure, like a nice white shirt, even for females. For males, definitely a nice white shirt and a nice pair of trousers. I would really suggest, investing on good pair of trousers because they go with anything and everything. So these are like some staples would be like this. And females who wear shalwar kameez only, they can always have a nice pair of white shalwar. It can be a farshi or a short paincha wali shalwar, but it goes with everything. So you can pair it with any printed shirt or a plain shirt. So these are the staples that we can talk about.
Exactly. And one more thing before, Eesha actually has a few more questions as well, and that is, how do you think that for all of those clothes that we have, do you think that there's any character of recyclability in it as well? Do you think that, you know, for already the clothes that we are wearing, we could actually take them to the tailor and ask them to tailor it according to our summer needs as well? Do you think that there's any such technique which we can roll out today?
That's very interesting. But yes, that can be done. But there's also a huge market now of pre-loved clothes, by the way. People like to share their clothes with other people. They usually now they're now like selling their things worn once or twice. They're selling it off at a lower price. So it's like sharing, so there's a huge market of pre-loved clothing, which even I didn't know, and I got to know very recently that there are a lot of pages and lots of Facebook groups that are doing that. And why not? I mean, it has been there in the international market for a long time, but we had like a stigma attached to it, maybe like, oh, pehne hue kapde, kaun pehne type. But I think now people are moving forward from that thinking.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Yumna, for joining us today and enlightening us about what we need to follow in order to present ourselves beautifully this summer. And thank you for being here.
Thank you so much, Yumna, for your time as well. And I think this is that time where I'm going to, have a word with Eesha over here as well. So, Eesha, the colors that she has told us are butter yellow, light pink, powder blue, mocha mousse, and you're wearing purple today.
Yeah, but I think
you need to go back home and talk to your mama. समर वाले कपड़े जो हैं वो उनके अब ये रंग मुझे चाहिए ताकि वो कपड़े में यूटिलाइज कर सकूं. I think having said that,
I tried following this, but the light in the studio is so light that my colors end up fading and they end up looking white.
But so mocha mousse will look nice. Yeah, okay, I think so. I think I'll try that as well.
And talking about fashion, I want to dive into a little traumatic story as a child that I had. Was so growing up, my sister, she's actually very, very beautiful.
By the way, you're still growing up, yeah.
Still. Yeah. So as a child, me and my sister, we looked very different. She was very beautiful. She had a very light and Pathan-like look, actually a European-like look. However, I was very tomboyish. I would run around in the sun and be very rugged. So whenever we would get gifts, so the gifts that I would get, even if it was a handbag or clothes, they would be darker toned. And my sister would get all the lighter clothes.
Oh, so for all of those people gifting you guys for actually discriminating, that's what you're trying to say. And you know what? You have even discriminated just now. Some Pathan-like look and then European look. But okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about Europe. We do know for a fact how a lot of Pakistanis are expats and they live in Europe, they live in the West, and it's because they want some good life for themselves and for their future children as well. But imagine that for women who actually move out, I think for men, because they get busy with their jobs and businesses, and women who actually get married to such men, it's difficult and challenging for them. What are the challenges faced by women who are actually expats is something that we would want to talk about, and we're very lucky that we've been joined by Miss LARAEB ZULFIQAR, happens to be a content creator and an influencer. Hello LARAEB, Assalamu Alaikum, good morning, Kaifa hal?
Assalamu Alaikum, Kaifa hal is good.
Thank you so much LARAEB for joining us, wonderful to have you over here. Haza, ready? Okay, so let's get started. LARAEB, first of all, I think I would want it to come from you. What challenges have you faced as an expat woman in Dubai?
Firstly, thank you so much for having me. About expats, I think अगर हम शुरू करें तो हम ख़त्म ही ना करें. The way we miss Pakistan so much, the way we've grown up, हमें वो चीज़ वापस बाहर कहीं आके सेटल होना किसी भी सराउंडिंग में बड़ा मुश्किल लगता है. बट आई थिंक यूरोप और अमेरिका और इन जगहों में और भी शायद मुश्किल है. इन मिडिल ईस्टर्न कंट्रीज आई थिंक हमें एक वो मेंटल सुकून होता है कि चलो पास ही है, घर कभी भी आप जा सकते हो, कर सकते हो. बट अदर देन दैट आई थिंक एक जो फैमिली सेटिंग और जो एक हमें एक बचपन से फीलिंग होती थी ना कि आप में कजिन्स भी हैं, आपकी फैमिली भी आपके.
LARAEB, I'm really sorry, but the medium that we use to communicate over here on this channel is English, because it's the only English channel in the country. So if you can do that for us, that'll be fine.
Sure.
Thank you.
Sure. Okay. So, the kind of family setting that we always had in Pakistan growing up, with our cousins around, with our relatives around, I think that we all expats, I think, would agree that we really miss that. because that is something that we have to, then make an effort, especially for our kids, to have that environment, to be, open to a lot of people coming in, that informality, people are coming in, your relatives are coming in. Here, I think it's very isolated. We are very, in the kind of families that we live now, we're very isolated from our families and even the people around us. Like, you have to make an effort to go and meet somebody, to have to give your child that feeling of community, which is, I think, the basic thing that we grew up with. So also, like, especially on Eid and all of our festivals, I think I feel that more, that it doesn't come naturally to our kids what Eid is, or what Chand Raat is, or what the festivities look like. So we have to, unless you're going to Pakistan, that's great. But if you're here, you have to, educate them about it. Verbally communicating this to them. I think it's a little challenging, and also the language barrier. That the basic problem that I see expats now facing is their children don't know Urdu, and the basic language that they communicate is in English right now. So when they go back home, they are sort of, that in that language confusion of
And
what's
then
happening.
there's the dada who unfortunately or fortunately cannot speak English, and then for them to communicate with their grandchildren. So
Yes,
sometimes
yes.
all of those emotions are left in your heart. You're like, मैं अभी इसको उर्दू में समझाना चाहता हूँ कि बच्चे मैं तेरे से कितना प्यार करता हूँ, but they cannot come across that, right? That's a challenge
I
too.
completely understand. 100%. That is bilkul. And I think also because of, I think we were, as kids, we were more emotionally regulated also, because we knew how to solve the day-to-day conflicts, with our cousins, with our family, someone who's elder to us, how we're supposed to, resolve that, or someone, or a house helps, for example. I think we know a lot of, just naturally, the way I think the children here nowadays, because they haven't, experienced that from a young age.
True.
So I think that also is real. You have to like teach them a lot of things. So going back and forth, and I think to Pakistan and coming back again, that really helps. But there are a lot of families who can't do that, right, on a regular basis.
Exactly.
So
And yeah, and LARAEB, in addition to this, obviously, so we've touched upon homesickness and, how living away and, that, communication and the modes of communication. Let's touch base with, well-being as well, or probably, unfortunately, if you get ill, access to healthcare, in countries where, probably you're new as well and you have no idea as to what or how the system actually takes place. Do you think that the healthcare gets better, or do you think that it does not really get better?
I think healthcare is great here, and it's when I come. I think even in Pakistan, I mean, nowadays, like, everything is progressing so fast, but the technology and the procedures that they use here in Dubai are cutting edge. Like, they're like on the top of their technology game.
True.
Like, they're like the future, right? So that difference you can see here. Of course, you see that. But again, when you've grown up in a place like Pakistan, you really won't, trade that for anything. Whether it's like amazing healthcare or really good transport or just the safety here. I mean, all of the things that you actually move here for are amazing, and we really value them. But it's, I don't know, there's something about your own country, your own culture, your own things that it doesn't just match with anything, right?
यानी आप ये कह रही हैं कि जब तक वो अनफॉर्चुनेटली गंदे अस्पताल से जाके टीका ना लगवाए तब तक तसल्ली नहीं होती.
मेरे हस्बैंड आज भी कहते हैं कि मुझे आज नौकरी अगर ऐसी मिल जाए जैसे मैं यहाँ करूँ पाकिस्तान में, हम अभी उठ के चले जाएंगे.
Oh, that's wonderful. Okay, now let's talk about. Okay, so we've talking about healthcare. Let's touch base with education as well. I think that gets better too.
Yes, also because my kid is very small right now. He's just 4, so it's just the first grade that he's in right now, which is like the play group here. So I don't really have a lot of knowledge on that part, but I think it is different in a way that they try to teach you everything in a very practical setting. Like, it's not like we're going to teach you ABC today. Yeah, today we're going to do letters, or today we're going to do phonics. It's very naturally the way they incorporate play with learning. So the kids don't feel like they're being fed something or they have to know something or they're going to be tested on something. It's just very natural in the way your children just speak about things and you're actually shocked, like, oh, okay, they know this now. Like, how do they know this? It's just with play and everything that they're being
Wow.
taught a lot of things. And the most important thing, the basic difference that I love here that I've noticed is about their emotional regulation. Like they can talk about, instead of just throwing tantrums, I see a huge difference when my kid has started to go to school, that he can talk about how he's feeling, if he's feeling nervous or if he's feeling angry or if he's feeling sad, or if, so they learn to communicate that. So that's the first thing that we were told, that this is what we're going to teach your kids first. This is more important to us, that how they're going to, you know, navigate in this world, because they're so little and they don't know anything. So the first thing that we are going to teach, our focus is how they're able to better communicate about their needs, about how they're feeling, about how they want to be in a certain situation, or if they feel safe. So that was their primary concern, which I absolutely respect here. It's really nice.
You know, LARAEB, thank you for being so candid and sharing all your life stories with us and experiences with us. So, you know, like you were telling about how your children are being emotionally regulated in their schools, let's dive into the term. What is expat child syndrome, and did you experience it, and did your kids experience it, and how can parents help their child emotionally through this time?
I think firstly, as a parent, you just have to be very aware of this, all the information that's, you know, around us right now, and because of social media, I think I have to give it to social media. We have a lot of information just available for us. If you want to search anything, any thing that you're worried about, or you know, or you're very concerned about your child, you can get all the information you need, and you need to understand that. You know, sometimes these words seem very fancy, like your child is he needs he just needs emotional safety, he just needs a hug, and we feel as Pakistanis, you know, that's crazy. He doesn't need a hug, he needs a thump right now. So, but you know, when you actually understand all these things, they do make a lot of sense. Children actually just need connection. That's all they're looking for. And because how we grew up, there was a lot of, like, there was a distance between parents and kids, like, you know, that respect part. You're not supposed to talk like that or feel like that, or you know, say that in front of your parents. It's not like that, and you need to understand that your child is a separate human being. I think that's the most important thing, that if we know that this is a separate human being, this, it can, he or she can also feel like this or that, he can also feel angry, he can also feel sad, and we have to be there for the, we cannot block the connection if he's feeling angry, we cannot block
Exactly.
the
Thank you
connection.
so much, LARAEB, for saying that. I have another important question to ask, and it's going to be the last one as well, because I just came up with this syndrome. And this syndrome is the expat couple giving up syndrome. Now, now what happens is that over here in a Pakistani household, if a husband or a wife is actually going to end up arguing, or you know, if there's a fight, or if there's any disagreement, what happens is that, you know, the dada or the nani or the chachi or somebody will come in to resolve that. Now, when you live abroad, it's just you and your husband. You know, your children are too young to kind of, you know, come in and say, hey, dad, you're wrong, or mom, you're wrong. So how does that syndrome kind of help you guys get along on days when you really do not feel like looking at each other?
I think it really goes down to the kind of person you are and the kind of marriage you want for yourself, and both, you know, the husband and the wife. Because I really believe personally that, you know, when a third person comes in, it sort of makes it more difficult to communicate, because then that person is going to be, you know, like sort of tilting on one side or the other, and then the third person feels resentful, you know. So I think I always believe, like, the problem, if the problem is within two people, it should be solved within those two people only. And I think that's the best way to solve it. Even if, like, people were coming in, I know how, you know, things used to play before, but I think women are, and also men are, more aware now of what they need from a relationship, what they expect from a relationship, and how they want to be treated. So, and also communication is like I think the thing that we have seen in our generation grow so much and, you know, flourish, because I don't think our parents, you know, sort of communicated so openly about so many things, and literally everything they didn't.
Exactly.
So
but I still think that we over communicate at times, which is why we end up arguing too as well. You know, so I think we really need that fine balance. But thank you so much, LARAEB, for being with us, and thank you so much. for sharing so candidly, all of those challenges which women actually face. And we really feel for all of those women and men who are out there. But guys, you know what? Look after each other, make sure that you are watching each other's back, because it's the two of you who's actually against the world. It's not the two of you who are against each other.
And it's very daunting moving from one country to another and starting from scratch.
Yeah.
So, be kind, be patient, and thank you so much to LARAEB for coming and preparing our audiences for what to look forward when they move.
All right, until next time, look out for yourselves. Good morning. Have a great week ahead. I'll see you on next Monday. There'll be somebody else doing shows on my behalf. Bye. Wait for me, okay?